They don't have any.
So instead of having these different departments actually do their jobs and fight real issues like terrorism, human trafficking, you are bringing in all these departments into Washington D.C. to fight crime that's been going down anyway. This is what y'all voted for. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Django Uncensored. Today we'll be talking about the situation going down in Washington D.C. Donald Trump is activating the National Guard and claiming that there's a national emergency going on in D.C. The reasoning he's using to do all of this is that the crime is exploding in Washington D.C. and apparently he's saying that it's worse than Afghanistan. So yeah, let's take a look at it.
Walking up to the podium. Let's listen.
I've been up here a lot. I've never seen a crowd like this. I think we need a ballroom, and that's happening. It's going to be a beautiful ballroom. This is really a lot of people, most I've ever seen in this room. And we're here for a very serious purpose, very serious purpose. Something's out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition,
See, this is actually the second time that Donald Trump has done this. He actually sent in the National Guard to LA, claiming that there was an emergency going on there when they were just protesting. Now he's activating the National Guard in Washington, D.C. to fight crime, as he would say, even though there are all kinds of stats out there saying quite the opposite. I mean, D.C. has seen a drop in crime more than most other major cities. Like, crime in general has gone down a lot, but DC has seen historic lows in crime. So I don't understand where he's getting his numbers from. The only reason I see that he may be actually trying to do this is to test what he can do, just in case if things do get out of hand and there are protests against him, he will be able to just send the military in and cut it off like a dictatorship.
I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. And you people are victims of it, too. You know, you're reporters, and I understand a lot of you tend to be on the liberal side, but you don't want to get mugged and raped and shot and killed. And you all know people and friends of yours that happened. And so you can be anything you want, but you want to have safety in the streets. You want to be able to leave your apartment or your house where you live and feel safe and go into a store to buy a newspaper or buy something. And you don't have that now. The murder rate in Washington today is higher than that of Bogota, Colombia, Mexico City, some of the places that you hear about as being.
That's crazy that CNN is putting these stats up as the president is telling the American public lies. I appreciate it though. The DC Metro Police, these are stats from the DC Metro Police, which saying that homicides, sex abuse, assault with dangerous weapons, robbery is all down. It's kind of hard to fight against stats from the police that you are claiming to back right now.
The worst places on earth, much higher. This is much higher. The number of car thefts has doubled over the past 5 years, and the number of carjackings has more than tripled. Murders in 2023 reached the highest rate probably ever. They say 25 years, but they don't know what that means because it just goes back 25 years. Can't be worse. Our capital.
Hold on.
Probably ever. They say 25 years, but they don't know what that means because it just goes back 25 years. Can't be worse.
What do you mean they don't know what that means? I mean, they just started taking statistics 25 years ago. The stats end at 25 years. You don't know what that means. Like,
Our capital city
let's be real.
has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and homeless people. And we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it. Just like we did on our southern border. Nobody comes through our southern border anymore. 3 months.
This is another stat. It's a 25-year low. Well, 20-year low, sorry. That's insane that this dude is using crime as an excuse to activate the military in the streets of Washington, D.C. And this lady behind him right here is supposed to be releasing the Epstein files. But they're doing this instead.
In a row, we had zero. I don't know if that's right, but the people that do the work, it's a very liberal group of people, actually, and they actually said zero for the last 3 months. Nobody thought a thing like that was possible. And, you know, when you say take a look at numbers, I just saw some charts. These are different cities throughout the world. Red is, okay, the red is a place called Washington, D.C.
Oh, if Biden was talking like this, they would have this on a loop, because this dude is talking like he's barely coherent at all and knows what he's talking about. If this was anybody else, they would be dragged, but Trump gets a pass.
See, look at these. Baghdad we doubled up on Baghdad. Panama City, Brasilia, San Jose, Costa Rica, Bogota, Colombia, heavy drugs. Mexico City, I mentioned, Lima, Peru, all double and triple what they are. So do you want to live in places like that? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I think the people in this room, if you wrote correctly, you'd see, look.
You're saying D.C. is like Baghdad, Bogota, Colombia, and then you ask the question, which one would you rather live? I would rather live in D.C. out of all those places.
Look at the kind of numbers we have. D.C., 41 per 100,000.
You see how it's like old boy off of Rush Hour when he was flashing that badge. He'll flash it real quick, tuck it back in. Yeah, he's slick with it.
That we can find anywhere in the world. Other cities are pretty bad, but they're not as bad as that. That where you want to live? The reporters of the world? Pretty bad, but they're not as bad as that.
Yeah, he keep moving there. I can hardly even catch anything.
That where you want to live? The reporters of the world? Juvenile offenders and crimes against persons, as they say. It's getting worse. Not getting better, it's getting worse. And we had a recent indication. There was a story about a man who was just left. He quit because he was asked to do phony numbers on crime. And we're going to look into that. I think Pam is going to be looking into that.
What she needs to be looking into is releasing the Epstein files. This is what y'all said y'all was going to do. Then it came out that this guy was in the Epstein files. And now there are no Epstein files. There's something that y'all have on Epstein. It's just not being released. Don't have her working on this farce. Have her work on the Epstein files.
I was asked by the city, I guess, that we don't want to show the real numbers. Let me do numbers so it looks like it's going down. Not going down. And under Biden, it was a disaster. And nobody did anything about it. We're going to do things about it like you wouldn't believe. It's time for dramatic action. We're going to do the same thing over here. It's going to be a very safe city very soon. We're not looking to just take years, because a lot of people die in years. And we've got incredible people in this country, except we have to allow them to do their job. And that we will deliver like nobody's ever delivered before. I actually think it's easy. You know, if you're competent, it's easy. If you're incompetent, it's impossible. But I'm very competent. Last week, my administration surged 500 federal agents into the district.
You got a little slurred.
But I'm very competent. Last week, my administration surged 500 federal agents into the district, including from the FBI, ATF, DEA, Park Police, the U.S. Marshal Service, the Secret Service, and the Department of Homeland Security. You know, a lot of nations, they don't have any.
So instead of having these different departments actually do their jobs and fight real issues like terrorism, human trafficking, you are bringing in all these departments into Washington, D.C. to fight crime that's been going down anyway. This is what y'all voted for? Like, not only is this wasteful, but it's inefficient. Like, the whole point of him bringing Elon Musk around, I guess they done broke up now, but this government is supposed to be efficient and non-wasteful. He's doing both.
Anything like that. They got some police, and they're rough police. They don't have DEA, ATF, FBI, Park Police, U.S. Marshal Service, Secret Service, Department of Homeland Security. They got some police, but they're rough police, and they do their job. They don't have crime. We're not gonna have crime either. They made dozens of arrests, and that's what starts to happen. Again, cashless bail. Watch what we do with that. Today, we're formally declaring a public safety emergency. This is an emergency. This is a tragic emergency. And it's embarrassing for me.
I wanted to be clear. There is no emergency in Washington, D.C. Crime has been going down year after year. It's reaching record lows at this point. He's doing this because he wants to have a power trip. He wants control of D.C. He wants to do what he wants there. Like,
Me to be up here. You know, I'm going to see Putin. I'm going to Russia on Friday. I don't like being up here talking about how unsafe and how dirty and disgusting this once beautiful capital was, with graffiti all over the walls. It's another part of it, by the way, because we're talking about safety, but we're also talking about beautification. We have the most beautiful, potentially, capital in the world. We always have.
the what?
Because we're talking about safety, but we're also talking about beautification. We have the most beautiful, potentially, capital in the world.
The most
we
beautiful,
always have.
potentially capital in the world. I'm telling you, if this was Biden, the GOP media machine would have that on a loop, like, constantly. You will see that every week.
But people come from Iowa, they come from Indiana, they come and then they get mugged. Not going to happen. Keep coming, because by the time you get your trip set, it's going to be safe again, and it's going to be clean very quickly. We're going to replace the medians that are falling down all over the roads. We're going to replace the potholes. We're going to put a nice new coat of asphalt over the top. No, we don't have to rip the road out and spend
But you don't need the military. You don't need the National Guard for that. You just fund the projects. You pass legislation through Congress like any other president would do, and get it done. You don't fake an emergency, bring in the military off of a power trip and a need to distract from your little Epstein issue just so you can say that you're going to pave the roads and whatnot. You're bringing in the military to distract, and because you're on a power trip right now. Let's be clear. Like, don't let this guy fool y'all.
7 years building a new road because they cut everything. Because some designer said, well, we need a quarter of an inch more turn for safety reasons. No, we're going to do it right. We're going to get it done quickly. So today we're declaring public safety emergency in the District of Columbia. And Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic, is taking command of the Metropolitan Police Department as of this moment. And I'll be making the appropriate notifications to Congress. And
also, let me say why this is dangerous. The federal government just took over a municipality. Washington, D.C., historically, in our recent era, has been known as a municipality. The city of Washington, D.C. Its own mayor, they have their own, board and all that. So when the federal government comes in and takes over that municipality, that's a federal takeover. That means that if Trump can just call a emergency and do this in Washington, D.C., he can do it in any other city. And it's going to take years for somebody to actually challenge this guy in court. Like, even if he does do it like in another city like he did in L.A., what he did in L.A. is going through the courts, and it's not probably going to be an issue until he's getting ready to get up out of office. You get what I'm saying? So he doesn't care at this point. He's just doing what he wants at this point. And he understands that this Epstein thing needs to get out the way, so he's doing a couple of different things. He's throwing all types of stuff at the wall, including this takeover of the D.C. Police Department.
To the mayor, our new DEA administrator, who's one of the top in the country. He better be Terry. If you're not, I'm going to get rid of you so fast. Terry Cole. Terry, thanks. Very good. We just got him. Most highly recommended person. And you'll be designated as the interim federal commissioner of the Metropolitan Police Department. Okay? And you run them tough. They're good. You have a lot of good people. You have people that shouldn't be there. You also have people that shouldn't be there. They got in there because of woke. But you have a lot of great police, and those people are the ones that want to help you.
Pamela, it was more than an hour he started.
They got in there because of woke. What is going on here?
You can take a look at it. You know, there has been...
I just want to remind y'all, Jeanine Pirro is a Fox News host, and she is now our U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C. She was hosting Fox News a year ago.
There's been a great deal of discussion.
Can we get you the mic?
You want me at the mic?
If you could hold.
There's been a great deal of discussion about crime in the district.
What's up with that audio?
And the other day, I wanted to get a sense of what is actually happening in the District of Columbia. I asked for the number of teens who have been shot and killed by gunfire. Teens, everyone under the...
These people are using Black Lives to promote their agenda. They did not care about any of these people until Trump did what he did and said that crime was an issue in D.C. This administration is a sad excuse for a human being, and I don't understand how any of this is happening right now.
The age of 20. As you can see, in 2024, we have, I believe I said it was, how many? Yeah. As you can see, in 2024, we have 29 individuals.
You can tell they didn't even care about this stuff until 10 minutes ago. How many was? She's asking people to the side, like, how many am I supposed to say?
As you can see, in 2024, we have 29 individuals who were shot and killed in the district, all teens, some as young as 3 years of age, okay, because of gunfire. Some of these cases are solved, some of them are not solved. But what this makes clear to me is that there is a whole community that is suffering because of the violent crime in this district. And anyone who wants to tell me the crime is down and that we don't need an emergency focus on crimes of violence, all they need to do is take a look at this and talk to the loved ones and the family members of these individuals, all shot and killed long before their time.
Do these people understand that crime being down and people being killed are two different things? Crime can come down by a lot, but deaths can still happen. That's just, you're trying to connect the two to support what Trump is trying to do in Washington, D.C. You're trying to give him an out. You're trying to put propaganda out there so your supporters can have something to latch on to. This is insane.
Now, over here are the individuals who were shot and killed under the age of 20, all teenagers, in 2025. And the number here is 16. Again, all members of the minority community here. I don't know how many of these cases have been solved, but what I can tell you is, again, it's guns on the streets. It's individuals who are not...
If you actually cared about guns on the streets, you would pass gun legislation. How is the military being deployed to neighborhoods in these black, brown communities going to help the gun issue? Trump is being lazy and he's trying to do things. Well, he's doing things and telling y'all it's all these different reasons why he's doing it, instead of actually trying to fix the things that he's telling y'all that he's trying to fix. If he was actually interested in fixing the guns on the streets, like she just said, this U.S. attorney that's ex-Fox News anchor, if they were actually interested in fixing this shit, they would pass legislation through Congress. They have control of Congress. They just passed a big beautiful bill. They can pass gun legislation. Easy. Common sense gun laws. Background check. The little loopholes. You know, the fucking gun fairs. Look, you know, where they bring a bunch of people with guns together and they sell them to each other, person to person. There's no background checks there. Make it so where there's background checks there. You get what I'm saying? Common sense gun laws.
Concerned about accountability, who don't have any reason to fear law enforcement. I am here today to tell you that on behalf of all of these victims, all of these families, that they're going to be accountable, that we are going to make a difference, and that we are going to make sure that law enforcement is focused on these innocent, now silent victims of crime in the district.
She did not care, nothing about any of these victims. I will say again, she did not care at all until Trump did what he did. That's clear as day.
Anywhere else? All I know is we rank in deaths. 2 years ago, we were one of the fourth highest. We were the fourth highest in the United States. I don't need any more statistics.
She gonna go back. She gonna go to stats from 2 years ago instead of stats that are accurate today. They're picking and choosing what they want to believe. It's clear as day.
Need are people to recognize that these were vibrant human beings cut down because of illegal guns. I guarantee you that every one of these shootings.
If that's the case, bring the military to Mississippi. I think Mississippi is what, like, really high up there when it comes to gun deaths per capita. Let's handle that. You want to activate the military and call an emergency. Mississippi is high up there when it comes to gun deaths. Let's bring them in.
So it's
in some of these trailer parks around here, see what happens.
An illegal gun. All right, and I guarantee you that every one of these individuals was shot and killed by someone who felt that they were never going to be caught. And I want to send a message that we are going to catch you, that we are going to change the laws, that if you're 14, 15, 16, 17, we're going to bring you into the justice system. No more of this D.C., council, if they're under 16 or if they're under 19 or if they're under 25, we'll give them probation. No.
That's a big jump from 14 to 25. I mean, yeah, if somebody gets in trouble or commits a crime at 14, of course they should be looked at more lenient than a 25-year-old. That's a child. The fuck are you talking about? You should look at children differently than adults. At least I hope my justice system does that. I mean, we already run into this issue with black kids being charged as adults at a higher rate than any other demographic. And now you want to make that official. This administration is a joke. This lady, Pam Bondi, is a joke. She still ain't released the Epstein files. I think we know why. Donald Trump, of course, is the main jokester. He's doing all this to distract from the Epstein issue, to distract from his failures with the Ukraine. If y'all forgot, he imposed a deadline on Putin for a ceasefire. That deadline has passed and he still hasn't done a thing. I think he just came out and said that he's talking about some deals with Putin, even though there's no ceasefire. This whole situation is a joke. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream, and I'm gonna make a couple more videos, but I'm gonna wrap this one up. Thank y'all for watching. Please like, follow, and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time.